the movie, people are going to hate this. It's true. The movie is like the least important part of the process. The people are the most important thing. The movie will be watched. We pray that fans absolutely love it, and that it introduces new people to the story as well, and that they become fans. But gosh, like, it's just a movie. At the end of the day, there are 30 souls, 30 human beings that we got to interact with every single day. And I pray that just like in the movie, we see characters transformed through obstacles and turned into better people because of them. Just like that happens in the fiction, we want that to happen in the nonfiction, in the behind the scenes. I want to see students and staff and actors grow and change and become better people because of their experiences on set. And so when I see that that has happened and that that is happening, I feel like it's been a success, even though we haven't even edited the film yet. We haven't even finished shooting. We still have like 2 scenes to go. And yet it's been a success because the people have achieved success.
I could say working with high school students is easier, because everybody that are professionals know much more than they think they know. These guys want to know more than they think they know, but they want to learn. The professionals, they know what they know, and sometimes harder work with that than kids that are learning now.
In Iron Dusk and Fountain of Youth, we're all over Florida. Especially Iron Dusk, we went up to St. Augustine and back, so like literally carving up the East Coast, filming everything we can. And now we're in this little box for 8 hours a day, and we have to turn it into a galaxy far, far away, which is awesome. But it really does make the days blend together. I get home a lot, and my wife's like, "How is work?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. Like, I don't really know what we shot. It just feels like one continuous day." So the memorable moments have just been the conversations on the side, during lunch, after shooting hours, the drives to and from campus, just time spent with these amazing students, these wonderfully talented actors. We all have these strange different stories that have converged for 35 days of shooting. And then we're all gonna go our separate ways. And those interactions are like little magical, moments. They're like fireflies on Long Island that just blink for a moment and you see it and it's beautiful, and then it passes by and you won't see it again. Those have been my most memorable moments. Conversations with Christy, Chase, Dante, Nick, King, Forrester, everyone.
So I have been a Star Wars fan. I think I've loved Star Wars since I was like age 5 years old. My favorite movie is Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I literally had a Star Wars room growing up. So this film in general has been something more dear to my heart because it's bringing my childhood to life. And I really love seeing that it's able to come to the screen.
I was 3 years old and I was in my friend's basement in New York and with all the other cousins and friends that had gathered. And late into the night, we're watching The Phantom Menace. And I remember when Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber turned on, I'm just like, this is obviously the greatest thing in the world. And when the movie ended, I turned to my left and turned to my right, and everyone had fallen asleep. And I was like, how? How could you possibly fall asleep when this magical thing unfolded in front of us? So I run upstairs, and all the adults are at the dinner table still, and I grab my dad's ear, and I tell him all about Star Wars. So ever since then, I've adored the franchise and the epic storytelling. It helped me make sense a lot of my childhood too. There were times where we all feel like a Luke Skywalker battling a big domineering empire, and we're young, dumb, and full of bubblegum, but with a little bit of luck and a little bit of courage, we can get a lot done. And so it's been a mantra of mine, and I think it's completely shaped who I am. Maybe in an adjacent way to my faith as well, that, I believe in Christianity and the Bible. And, I also have the mythology of Star Wars, frankly, that has accelerated me and given me the personal courage and fortitude I need to pursue a life of virtue and kindness like we see in Luke Skywalker and the great Jedi Masters. I incorporate Christianity into our Star Wars screenplays. I like to think in the same way that Tolkien did into Lord of the Rings. That secular people can read Lord of the Rings and really enjoy the story and appreciate it and move on. But for those who are religious, they see a lot of symbols and a lot of Christian allegory. Oh, he would hate if I said that. I'm sorry. He's rolling over in his grave. For those who are Christians, who read Lord of the Rings and watch the movies, there is great imagery and symbolism that it runs parallel with our faith. Like, Gandalf, Aragorn, or Frodo being a Christ figure. And so Christians can be inspired by those tales in their faith. And so in the same way, I tried not to create a direct allegory, but to simply use what I do believe about the universe through my Christian faith, and I allow that to pour out into the characters and into the page in what I hope is a pretty seamless way that still completely honors the original story. For example, a lot of this first episode circles around Karth and the engineer's relationship. And Karth has to learn, being the senior officer, who is being quickly superseded by this younger, fresher, faster soldier, he has to learn the truth of Philippians 2:3-4, which is to do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. In other words, Karth has to learn humility. And we use the Bible to understand what that proper humility should look like, and we write that into Karth's journey. We are a religious school. We're a Christian school, and we interact with students and we interact with actors who may or may not be believers. And so we share what we believe in direct and indirect ways. Directly, I read the Bible during lunch and explain it in a very short sermon. I call it a daily devotional or a verse of the day. And that's their chance to see, Parenti reads the Bible, he thinks it's worth his time, maybe it's worth my time too. And that's borne some amazing fruit. But, indirectly, more commonly, I just hope that myself and the other Christians, the staff members, and the students on this campus are sharing Christ in their actions and words. And every day people come to campus and new actors might be worried, like, okay, this is awkward, am I going to be loved, appreciated, cared for? And yes, from the moment they walk on until the moment they leave, I see and I pray that it continues, that our students and our staff love them with exceptional grace and kindness and treat them the same way Jesus Christ would if he were here. And so that's maybe our most powerful form of evangelism, is just passive kindness, I had a vision for making the program grow to the point where we could make feature films and have a really sick studio and LED wall, a couple extra staff members, and that the gospel would go forth. And I feel like all of that so quickly has been granted to us. I don't even know how to ask for more. I feel like if I were to actually make our 10-year plan, I wouldn't know what to put down, because I feel like we have everything that I've ever wanted. And I'm so grateful for it. So my hope is that 10 years from now, we would have finished, 10 more movies, that people would love them, that the gospel would shine forth in them, that they would be inspired and encouraged by them, that the students would grow in their knowledge of the Lord and their knowledge of filmmaking, and that they would be using it in their industries, and that I would just still be here with the staff and, loving doing what we're doing. I really don't know, To the super fans of Knights of the Old Republic, we're right there with you. I played the game probably over 30 times at this point. It was the formative, defining story in my childhood, next to the Star Wars movies themselves. We care so deeply. So I just want them to know that we are trying our absolute best. We are a fan film. We're a student film. We're not Hollywood. And so we can't always give you the most spectacular explosions and big set pieces, but I really hope that they see our intentional heart and hand behind these character moments. The interactions between the engineer and Karth, Bastila, Kandris, Missions, Albar, and T3. I hope that they see, wow, these guys know these characters. These feel true. I hope we give them something that's true.